Chris, what do you mean it's not great music? Come on, I was jamming. I was getting down to some funk. All right, I don't know. It's okay. It's the stuff that YouTube will allow me to put on there and not hit me with a licensing thing. So let's get a little good mornings here. We got good mornings. We'll get started here in a second. But Chris Schoenberger, good morning, sir. Need some fire today. Let's go. I've already addressed your, don't like the music comment. Deja, good morning to you. It is wonderful to see you here this morning. Oh, it looks like we got our regulars. Ryan James, good morning, David. Hope everyone here is going to see you at Pizza Expo and Bar and Restaurant Expo over the next week. Yes, quite excited about that. For those of you who are in my Facebook group, my private Facebook group, watching, make sure you click on this link, Restream, chat.restream.io/FB to give Facebook for permission for me to see your name. Otherwise, it says Facebook user. On YouTube, make sure you guys log into your account so that you can use the chat function. Good morning, Jim. Good morning from finally sunny North Carolina. Hey, man, it's, if you were in California, which I'm not, they would say, they'd argue that they are the ones that are getting crushed with rain. Emily, what's up? Good morning to you. It's good to see you here this morning. Hot Dog Eddie's, what's up? Shooting the shit, having a wienerful week. Pun intended. Oh, there's so many places I could take that, my friend, and unfortunately I would. We got a good morning from Gary Rosenberg. Good morning to you as well. And I don't know, Jay, when you guys chatted beforehand, there's a guy, Jay Ecker, who said good morning from Lake Charles, Louisiana. I got an email on that one. It didn't show up through the chat based on what I'm doing here, so good morning to you as well. For those of you who are in my member private Facebook group, make sure you use chat.restream.io as well. We've got ourselves here a David Costas. What up, everyone? Good morning to you, David. It was good talking to you the other day. It was that yesterday, wasn't it? Sean Bliss in the house. Good morning, my friend. Gina Sidebottom. Are you and Emily sitting next to each other on your own devices? What's going on here? Good to see you. Happy Friday to you. Mother's Cantina, which is Neely. Good morning. Hey, Neely, I know it. Ryan's on Facebook. You're on YouTube. I think I can handle that 90% of the time. I'm looking down here at the pedal. All right. Let's get started, shall we? Welcome to Shoot the Shit with DSP. STS with DSP happens every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, live on Facebook and YouTube, travel schedule permitting. We're going to invest about 30 minutes out of your day to get pumped about the upcoming weekend, get excited about crushing your goals, and finding the motivation to be the best you possible. Plus, I'll answer your burning questions. I'm Dave Scott Peters, creator of the Restaurant Prosperity Formula, and your coach. And today, I'm going to talk about the steps you need to take to get the most out of your team. This is a topic that comes up over and over and over again. How do I get my team to do more, to help me move my business forward? And that's what I want to focus on right now. Before I do, for those of you who just joined, if you're in my Facebook group, make sure you look in the chat there. Each one of those private Facebook groups, Mary has placed in a link that says chat.restream.io/FB. Click on that, give Facebook permission for me to see your name. And those of you in YouTube, make sure you log into your account so you can use the chat function as well. So let's get started. Whether you're a restaurant owner or a manager really doesn't matter to me right now. When it comes to needing to get the most out of your team, well, that's universal. The fact is that you need your team to perform at a high level in order to grow your business. You need your team to think on their own, be creative, and find solutions without you answering every question for them. I'm going to share with you 5 steps every restaurant owner and managers really should follow to get the most out of your team. Number 1, you need to define goals and hire the right people. I know that sounds pretty simple, but it really isn't. It starts with you need to clearly communicate your restaurant's mission, right? Why are you in business? So the dream equation is mission, dream, vision, but the mission part is what are you going to do in the next 5 years to get to your dream? Whether that is 5 locations, 100 locations, whether it's being the best that you can possibly be, doesn't matter. A mission is your 5-year plan, if you will, and just a little mission statement. Well, you don't even have to have a defined mission statement to say, where am I going in the next 5 years? What are your objectives for your business? Again, growth, higher sales, improve the menu, doesn't matter. What are they? You've got to be clear about those. And then you need to recruit individuals with skills, passion, and experience that are needed to drive your business forward. See, without that ultimate goal, without knowing the direction you're going, it doesn't matter. Like you get all excitable. Often I describe restaurant owners as and even managers for that matter, being on a big lake. Let's call it Lake Michigan in a speedboat, right? And you are ready and you are just full bore. You are just moving. The problem is you don't have a rudder. So instead of getting across the lake to your goal of success, instead you're just going around in circles, figure eights and loops, and because you have no control of what happens. So it doesn't matter all the energy you put in. If you don't give it your mission, if you don't give it the path to success, how the hell do you recognize what success looks like? How do you take all that energy and focus it to move forward to success? So ask yourself, what's your vision for your restaurant? What kind of hospitality experience are you looking to provide your guests? Like you could sit there and create the questions that need to be answered for you to put together what your mission is. And when it comes to the candidates, look, I get it. It's a labor shortage, right? It's gotten better. It has gotten better, but it's not 100%. Like I've got some members who are fully staffed. Like they've got candidates galore. And I've got members who are in small towns and there ain't nobody, like nobody to even bring into the restaurant. I get it. It's different. And so when I bring and I say, hey, you need to hire the right people, for some of you, you're going, yeah, that's awesome. And some of you are going, holy shit, if I could just get a candidate to walk in the door. I understand. I feel your pain, but it doesn't change the fact that you need to hire the right people. So when interviewing candidates for every position, you've got to make sure you ask questions that allow that candidate to show you they'll ultimately be the right culture fit for your team, that they are a fit, and that they can help you deliver on your expectations. Remember your vision for your restaurant, that mission. Do you remember those obligations, the steps on what you want to get done? Well, if you're not clearly defined, how can you even identify that a person in front of you is going to be a fit? Number 2, cultivate a strong company culture and teamwork. That means foster a positive work environment that encourages collaboration, innovation, and open communication. Delegate tasks effectively and promote collaboration among your team members. That sounds really smart. Big words, right? There's like $50 words on the black market. Not words that I probably use every day in my life because I'm a pretty simple dude. What does it mean? It means a positive work environment starts with a great management team. Like when you talk about company culture, if it's in the downy dumps, it's probably because of your management team, which starts with you as the leader if you're the owner. So a great management team is a team where the managers know the expectations of each of the positions. That means they need to be trained in every position. They need to test out, just like every line employee in a perfect world, they test out of each position. They know what the job is, how to do it, how well it should be done, more importantly, by when. Now, it doesn't mean they're great at it. Like, for instance, I joke around about how I'm horrible in a kitchen. Like, I have 0 knife skills. It's horrendous. But I can expo in a casual concept with 8 to 10 minute ticket times. I can expo. I can work fry station. I can work salads. I can work sandwiches. Do not have me saute. Do not have me grill. Disaster. But the fact of the matter is, in a perfect world, I will have tested out of each one of those positions. I may not have the skills to get it done as well as, say, my grill cook, but I understand the expectations of that job. What the job is, how to do it, how well it should be done, more importantly, by when. And by doing so, I understand what the rules are. See, when a manager knows the rules, when all managers know the rules, and they're consistent in training and enforcing them, we have happy people. See, I often teach people, I say, I'll talk about company policies and procedures and putting in rules. And they're like, people are like, oh, you're going to make us corporate. I don't know what the hell that means. Cold and sterile? Like, if you're the restaurant owner listening to me, you have the same set of core values you've always had, and it's still your business, but we are going to raise expectations on people. So you're not going to become cold and sterile. We're just going to ask people to do more to actually achieve the things we need them to do to achieve our goal our mission, if you will. So with that said, I'll tell you, as they go through the training process and people say to me, oh, but my employees hate rules. I say, bullshit. They love rules. What they hate is the inconsistency of management in enforcing those rules. That's the rub. So when I make sure all of my management team knows each position and they can do the job, at least on paper, when they walk around the restaurant and they look with their eyes, they can see when things are being done correctly, when they're doing something wrong. They can enforce the same exact standards amongst everyone, no matter how long they've been there, who they are, or whether you like them or not. And that's where teams start to go, hey, this is a safe work environment for me. It's consistent. Now, you also need to make sure your management team is asking the people who do the jobs on a daily basis what their thoughts are on improving the systems and fixing your challenges. See, I have a philosophy that management isn't the one that fixes everything. Owners aren't the smartest people in the room. The people who do the jobs, who stand there and do the job 6 to 8 hours a day, these are the people I need to lean on. They know what should be done. They're the ones who go, you're at a manager meeting and talking to your managers going, why is our glassware cost so high? Well, it's that server that knows, hey, where we have the coffee station, the stainless table with the shelf on top, well, we don't have a rubber mat there. So when the refrigeration unit, the stand-up refrigeration unit right next to it turns on and the compressor starts to vibrate, we're losing cups. They're vibrating off the shelf and breaking. Like, people look at are like, you got to be kidding me. How long has this been going on? Well, if we asked our team things that could help us become better, they will start to share. There's some great ideas floating around. And oh, by the way, when you start to ask, they're going to feel appreciated. We're going to talk about that in a second. And one of the most overlooked pieces of this is basically remembering that many of the things you do on a daily basis are just tasks. Tasks that you can teach others to do. But you have to remember you're still responsible to ensure they're being done correctly and on time. So for instance, I teach a system, a DSR tracker. It's where you take your daily sales report, whatever your POS system calls it, and you're typing in the numbers. Gross sales for food, bottled beer, draft beer, wine, liquor, what my comps, my tax collected, my accounts payable. Oh, then how did the money come in? Cash, MasterCard, Visa, ... You get the picture. And the whole idea is that it is to make sure we balance. But it's also setting up all my other systems. And when I first teach that system to many people, they feel like, well, I got to do it. No, you don't got to do it. You got to do it if you're managing that shift. But everyone, even a shift supervisor, an 18-year-old who works part-time as a lead, can type numbers into a gosh darn spreadsheet. It's your job to make sure they did it on time, that the numbers were accurate. But everybody should share in the tasks. This is important when you're a restaurant owner. Instead of working down, you've got to be working up. We need to delegate those tasks. As a manager, you need to be delegating tasks as well to train your replacement. Those replacements start to train others that we're seeing the next supervisor that comes in. Everyone is a part of the team. Everyone's a part of the solution. Number 3, provide training, feedback, and development opportunities. That means offering continuous learning resources, giving regular constructive feedback, and conduct performance evaluations to help team members grow and improve. So for starters, you need to have a real training system in place. A real training system in place, not follow that person. You're shitting me. Do you know what that means? It means follow that person is, it's not consistent. It's whatever that person does well or poorly. It's not necessarily your way. And in fact, you've got some really good people go, this is what they tell you to do. This is what I do. Like, it's not even company policy. You've got to have a system, a process, a way to doing anything and everything in your business. And you've got to have a training system for it. This is so important that I actually provide a complete training manual system for all line positions to all my members, which includes the performance evaluations, which is making sure that we hired you to this job, we trained you to these standards, and now we evaluate you that you meet or exceed those standards or do not meet. That it is clear every single way. And remember that consistency in management? If I train through those positions and I know what the performance evaluation is, I know as a manager what to hold people accountable to. But the real key here is managers must share with their team members on a daily basis what they're doing well and what needs to be improved. So you can have all the greatest training in the world, but when we think training happens once and we're done, we're in trouble. Training happens every single day at pre-shift. Training happens every single day when a manager sees someone doing something wrong and understanding the situation. Like if it's a slow Monday and I see that a server went, "Hi, my name's David." And I go, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, come here." When you approach a table, what you've got to do, remember in training, we talked about, we want to create a relationship first. "Hey, that's a great handbag. Where'd you get that?" "Oh, I love that sporting team too. Did you see last week's game?" "Oh, did you guys take the kids out to a movie?" Like find something to bond with them when you approach the table. Ask if it's the first time they've been here. "Have you been here before?" "Oh, let me tell you about our XYZ appetizer, our drink, whatever it may be. May I get you started with a drink order?" Get the drink order and say, "Do you have an appetizer suggested? Would you like a suggestion or you need a moment?" "Oh, you need a moment? Fantastic. Let me make sure." Read back the drink order. Start to turn and walk away. Then turn back and go, "Oh, by the way, my name's David." See, now I've built a relationship and they care who David is. They don't really give a shit who David is when I go, "Hi, my name's David." But after I've developed a relationship, some rapport, I've taken care of their needs, I've listened, I've educated them. Now, when I sincerely turn around and go, "I'm David, I'm going to be here to take care of you," it means something. Well, when I see them go, "Hi, my name's David," on a Monday, slow Monday, I pull them aside and we go through that right then and there. As soon as they put the order in, they've got a moment. But if it's a busy Friday night, we're on an hour wait, the kitchen is railed, we've got all these challenges going on, I make a mental note, and at the end of the shift, I grab the person. Right? But here's the deal. Not only do I find the corrections, it's easy to find somebody doing something wrong. What I really want my management team is finding and identifying people doing something right. That's the challenge. That's when things start to change. "Hey man, that was a great job when you took care of that guest. Man, I cannot believe, when you saved the day, when you ran back to the kitchen and made sure we had silverware, seeing that we were just about out. I really appreciate you." Like look at those things and give them the accolades we'll talk about in just a moment. But the truth is, I want you to think about it this way. If I were to summarize it, you can't be a management team that sticks your head in the sand when you see challenges. Because there should be, when we get to the evaluation part, remember we talked about evaluations? Just briefly. You should never sit down with an employee and give them a bad evaluation and they're frickin' surprised. "You're shitting me," because managers are supposed to tell people how they're doing on a daily basis. That's a part of their job, to ensure the process is working. Now, number 4, you need to recognize achievements and promote work-life balance. So this goes back to what I was just starting to talk about. You need to celebrate individual and team successes to motivate your team and encourage a healthy work balance between work and personal life to prevent burnout, because burnout is real. If you've not listened to my podcast, make sure you check out Restaurant Prosperity Formula. On all the popular podcasting services or on YouTube, I post the video of it. This last one, I think this week or last week, I just posted on burnout, how to avoid restaurant burnout. Make sure you tune in and take a look. Now, a great book that I'm going to share with you. I have 2 books in my drawer. It's mine and this book. And this is The 5 Languages of Appreciation by Gary Chapman and Paul White. This is a must read for all management teams. Not many books I get that excited to do that I actually keep in my drawer and I whip out all the time on coaching calls and lives and webinars and all these things. Because they talk about the 5 languages of appreciation, which you don't get to use the last one, number 5, because that's touch. But it talks about how when you make people feel appreciated, it's not that they like you, it's that they feel engaged in the business. And to do so, recognition is a part of that. And I think that's very, very important. And when it comes to work-life balance, you must, and I mean you must, do everything in your power, even though sometimes it's not possible. You need to make sure that everyone, including your managers, gets 2 days off in a row whenever possible. You've got to give them the opportunity to recharge. You got to give them the opportunity to have a life outside the business. Whether it is to go bowling, to go fishing, to do arts and crafts. I don't give a rat's ass. Go to the movies, go out with their family. You name it. Whatever's important to them, that they can do that. Because here's the truth of the matter, and why I like 2 days off in a row. Day one, when I was a bartender, day one was sitting in my robe, just relaxing. Day two was getting shit done, or I'd flip it. But I needed 1 day to get all the things done, run to the dry cleaner, clean the apartment, go to the grocery store, pay the bills, things that I have to do. And then I want a day just to do nothing if I don't want to, or go out with my friends, do something that makes me happy. I think that's really, really impossible. Or not impossible, very possible. Not the word im. All right. Number five, you've got to be a supportive leader and continuously improve team dynamics. This means you got to lead by example, maintain an open communication, and address any team issues or conflicts to ensure a productive and cohesive team environment exists in your business. Let me be very clear that lead by example does not mean do everything yourself. I will tell you, as a manager, I thought I was God's gift to the restaurant. I was the best server, host, food runner, busser, barback at the same time than anybody else in the world. I grew up working for my mother. I watched my mother and stepfather, burn the candle at both ends. I was taught that your value is how hard you work, how many hours you put in. Couldn't be completely far from the truth ever was. But that's how I was raised. So when I was a restaurant manager and coming from a line employee position, I was being the best line employee I could. I was like, lead by example, lead by example, lead by example. Truth is, people watched me bust their tables as it was slowing down. I'm running, sweat coming down my nose. It's 118 degrees in the summer here in Arizona. And we had people sit out in our patio because we had a misting system, a fogging system. And one day I stopped and I looked and I'm going, you know what? They're looking at me like, aren't you going to go bust my table? The servers. Excuse my French, but I was everybody's bitch. I wasn't being a good manager. I wasn't being a good leader. I was the best line employee I had. So one of the keys that I teach all managers is there's a time to do, there's a time to help, and there's a time to direct. So when we're really busy, we got an hour wait, we're railed in the kitchen, and you need table 22 right away as a manager, I'm going to go clear table 22. I'm going to do. When we're just on the edge of the weeds, we're not quite in the weeds, we're busy though, and I need table 22 now, I grab a busser and say, hey man, let's go to table 22, let's get this started. I take a couple things, you got the rest, boom, go. When it's Monday and it's slow, busser, table 22. There's a time to do, there's a time to help, there's a time to direct. And managers have to understand that, because all too often they go, I don't have any time, man, I'm working so hard. Because in the slow days, they're doing, not working on the big things. And ultimately, you've got to be a patient, active listener. A patient, active listener, meaning turn your back to the door. When you're talking to somebody, be focused. Listen to them. Look them in the eye. Not squared up and make them feel bad about themselves, you know what I mean? But make sure that you show that you care and you are focused in on what they're saying. And do you know what happens? When you start to show them that you actually listen to them, actively listen, your team will start to share. They'll start to share ideas. They'll start to share problems. You will learn so much about your business that you never knew, because they feel comfortable with that open line of communication. And when it comes to employee issues, this is a big one. You must deal with them immediately. The longer they fester, the longer you don't do anything about them, the faster everything we just talked about goes to shit. So when you have that bad employee, remember I said your managers must tell employees what they're doing well and what they're doing poorly on a daily basis and correct those. You cannot bury your head in the sand and let that fester like a cancer, because it will kill your business. How many times have you let an employee stay with you way too long, whether in a management role or line position, doesn't matter, and you finally are fed up and you fire them? It hurts, you get nauseous because nobody likes to fire people. You needed them, you're short-staffed, and everybody comes out of the woodwork and goes, what took you so long? You owe it to your team, because if you leave the cancers in place, everything we just talked about, doesn't matter how good you are with them, they go away, because it's like little high school rumors and they whisper, 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 taking your culture into the dumps. So you got to deal with it right away. So in summary, to get the most out of your team, you need to 1, define goals and hire the right people. 2, cultivate a strong company culture and teamwork. 3, provide training, feedback, and development opportunities. 4, recognize achievements and promote work-life balance. And finally, 5, be a supportive leader and continuously improve team dynamics. It went a little longer than I expected, but I hope it was something that can help you today. That concludes my portion of Shoot the Shit with DSP. Now it opens up for your questions on anything I just talked about, your comments, anything you want to share with me. It's your time. Let me get back to the good mornings real fast here. See where we left off. I have here Brody. Hey, what's going on, Brody? My diner is 35 years old. I'm 3rd generation. I struggle with being held to what was and what is, and not what is. I wish I would have changed the name, but a staple in my small town. Any suggestions? Yeah. I think that you've got to understand that change is inevitable. So do me a favor, Brody, and everybody watching, do me a favor, take your hands, clasp them together, right? So since you were a baby, sucking your thumb, whap, boom, like this, comfy, nice. Now what I want you to do is open your fingers, shift them 1, and reclose. Ew, that's gross. Feels awful. Let go. That's what change is. What I would ask you is this, Brody, and everybody listening, was that difficult? No. What was it? It was uncomfortable. So you need to become the leader your restaurant needs, and you've got to do what's necessary for your business, what's best for your business. We cannot allow the 5, 10 regulars who have been with us for so many years to tell us the way it used to be. They can't tell us that, what you need to do, improve. We listen, they pay us, God bless. But you get to make the decisions. We can't allow 1, 2, 3 employees to say, yeah, that's not how we used to do it. That's not how we did it with your dad. That's not how we did it with your grandfather. Doesn't matter. The most dangerous phrase in your business is that's the way we've always done it. So how can I focus on the change? Well, you need the right numbers, the right metrics. So we need a budget to see what changes we need to make, whether it's labor, cost of goods sold. Let's say we've got to change our cost of goods sold. We got to look at the menu and we got to decide what's selling, what's not. So now we do a menu profitability monitor, find out our ideal food cost, and say if I raise the prices 1, 2, 3 top items, if I reduced portion sizes or bought differently to reduce the cost, if I got rid of an item, added a number, where would they go? And we can engineer the menu, not only selection, but price and all these things to start to achieve the number we need to achieve for a budget. And oh, by the way, with that said, by looking at our menu mix, our customers are telling us what they actually want and like, not just Aunt Louise's meatloaf that's been on there for 3 generations that nobody buys and takes a lot of time to prep and it dies and we throw it away. So I would tell you that you just gotta make some decisions. Some of them are going to be painful. And here's the joys of being an entrepreneur. You're going to make a bad decision. It's going to cost you money. It's going to piss off some guests. And you can change back. But if you don't try, it will never change. And that's the old phrase of the old definition of insanity, Albert Einstein. If you do the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result, that's insanity. Right? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result. So if you want to dive in that a little deeper, highly recommend you and want to get on a call with me, you got to go through my gatekeeper, and that's Ryan James. Email Ryan at ryan@davidscottpeters.com. He's one of my member mentors, and he can talk to you a little bit about that. He can learn more about your business, tell you what we do, and we can see if we get on a call. But I hope that helped. I've got a Facebook user, says afternoon. So whoever this is said afternoon, click on the link that says restream.io, chat.restream.io/FB for Facebook. Give Facebook permission to see your name. Chris Schoenberger, ain't this the truth? I just did this. Waited 3 months to fire someone, and I'm mad I took so long. Dude, we do it all the time because we're givers. We want to give people the opportunity. We don't like conflict. We need people. Again, I'd rather run short staff than have the wrong people on my team, but that's easy for me to say from my desk, who doesn't run a restaurant, who doesn't have 300 customers walking in a day. I get it, but I can remove tables. I can reduce the menu size even on a shift. So many things I can do to make sure I have the right team members. Shauna, good morning. Amen. Great gospel this morning. Thanks, Shauna. Jim Up Church, what do we got here, brother? Thanks for the help, brother. Third record week in a row. Wings, beer, and basketball. Love me some March Madness. Oh, I get it, man. I ran a 30-unit Red Star sports bar chain in Arizona. I get it. Chris says, amazing on how all your STS hits home every week. I hope so. I try, dude. Like sometimes, for many of you may or may not know, is I sit there and I usually wait till the morning to put them, because I want to look at what my week has been like in coaching. Group coaching calls, one-on-one coaching calls, discovery calls, and I try and find a theme of what I think people, the theme of the week was. So thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Brody, no shit. Aunt Diane, no shit, man. I swear to God, nothing changes in our business. Brody says, sounds good. Thank you. You're welcome. All right, we've got another question. Make sure I can hang out another few more minutes. If you got a question, a comment, please put it in the comments now. There's about a 30-second delay, I think, from live to you guys. So I'm buying a little time. This is the last one I have. Jose from Chicago Taco Authority. Good. Hey, David, good morning. I think you said your son is a Marine Corps Semper Fi. Yes, sir. He's a sergeant in the Marine Corps. He's just finishing up as we speak. He's going to finish his 5 years up in his position. I'm a Marine veteran and do promote your restaurant as veteran owned, and promote my restaurant. Yeah, well, I think that's awesome. Thank you for your service, my friend. And oh, by the way, you guys are nuts. Marines are nuts. Y'all want to get in there, be part of brotherhood. Y'all get in there, say it suck, and you all leave, and it's still a brotherhood, and you love them to death. I think it's awesome, and I again appreciate your service. Sean Bliss says, I was once told the most successful people are comfortable being uncomfortable. Amen. Amen. Look forward to learning and doing something new. Absolutely. Chris says, is Chicago Taco Authority in Chicago, or every week I see them on here and want to try them? Jose, let my good friend Chris know he is in the Chicago area, Third Lake, and man, I can't pronounce all the little towns you have restaurants in. So put it in the chat for me, my friend. He's on Facebook. You're on YouTube, so you got to give it to me here so I can share it. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, anything? And while you're typing that in here, I will remind you of a couple things. Again, if you'd like to learn more about my coaching program, Restaurant Transformation Intensive, and what it can do for your business, do me a favor, make sure you email Ryan at davidscottpeters.com, and he will take 15 minutes out of your day to learn more about your business, tell you a little bit about what we do, and the two of you can figure out whether you need to get on my calendar for a free hour-long discovery call. Love to work with you. Look forward to it. Let's see here. Jonathan, what's up, Mr. Cowan? I will see you in Las Vegas, and I'm going to remember a swimsuit just in case. I'm going to make, and shorts, well, at least a swimsuit. Because the last time I saw you, I had to show up in jeans and a black shirt and dress shoes, I think. I didn't even think I had sneakers, and sweat my ass off as we enjoyed a couple cocktails poolside. All right. Anybody else? Comments, questions, concerns? As a reminder, those of you who do not know, I'm going to be speaking in Las Vegas at the Pizza Expo and Bar and Restaurant Expo. That's starting this weekend. I speak in Pizza Expo for, I think it's a 4-hour seminar, 1 to 5 Sunday night. Monday morning, I'll be at Bar and Restaurant Expo, a paid seminar from 9 to noon. And then if you check out the email, or you can email me directly, I've got a link for you. I'm going to stay an extra day, and on Wednesday, I've got half-hour appointments that I'll meet you at on the South Hall in the cafeteria, restaurant-y thing there, and I'll do one-on-one meetings. So we're making that happen. I got one more thing here, it looks like, and that is Gary Rosenberg. Hey, what's up, brother? David, a suggestion. I think you could spend an entire 2 days on his budgeting, from sales, payroll, to food cost. It was so beneficial to my company. We knocked off 6 to 8 off prime cost after your seminar. No shit, man. That's exciting. That is so cool. So yeah, what I tell people, budgets and recipe costing cards are the two most important systems you'll ever have in your business. And so what Gary's referring to is after a 3-year hiatus, after doing this for 20 years, I just brought back live seminars. The next one is May 17th and 18th in Las Vegas. You can learn more about it on my website, davidscottpeters.com. Upper right-hand side, live seminar. Click on that puppy, and you can learn more about it. It's only $1,000 for you and a guest. And I send you home with all the tools. But Gary, thank you for sharing. Jenny's going to find the Calendly link and throw it in there. I actually might be able to grab it, throw it in our chat. Let me see here real quick. Everybody doing this live, doing it live. Let's see here. Share. Let's see if this is it. Yep, I've got it. Link is coming your way, Jenny, on Slack. Man, if you guys aren't using Slack or something for your team, I tell you what, you should be. All right. Jenny well, look at that. Jenny found it before I did. So here's the link. For those of you on YouTube, you're going to have to take a screenshot of this, take your phone out, take a picture, because she's in Facebook. I don't have to drop into YouTube, although what I'll do is I'll throw it into Ryan's. Maybe Neely can throw it in there. I'll do that as well. Not sure. So again, it's calendly.com/David_Scott_Peters/David-Scott-Peters. Sorry, I don't make this shit up. It's what Calendly does. -Vegas-Expo. And I happily meet with you guys. It'd be fantastic to see you there. Jenny says, haha, everyone was yelling at you. It was in the comments. Oh, it was in the comments. Well, I don't know. Nobody's yelling at me. Somebody's yelling at me. Chris was probably yelling at me. All right. Anybody? Last moment for question, comment. Let me look at my calendar real fast. Make sure we are doing STS next week. There will be a Shoot the Shit with DSP next week. I will be out of the office Saturday. I'm leaving tomorrow and returning Wednesday. So my members are going to be tough to find me, but please reach out. Members are going to be at the 2 expos. Make sure you text me. I'm sure we will share a drink. And Chris says, are you speaking NRA show in Chicago in May? No, sir, I am not. And I do not plan on going this year. Laura, what's going on? Laura says, great call. Thank you as always. Thank you. I appreciate it. Without you guys showing up, I'm just speaking to a camera and wasting time. Hey, man, I appreciate each and every one of you. Maybe I'll see you in the Facebook group. Maybe I'll see you talking with Ryan afterwards on a discovery call. Maybe I'll see you in my seminar in Las Vegas. Maybe I'll see you this weekend in Las Vegas. Either way, I will see you next week, 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern time, here live on Facebook and YouTube for Shoot the Shit with DSP. Peace. Go out there, kick some ass.